Hey, what's up you guys? Welcome back to Fruit in the Abide with Brittany. Today's video is going to be just a little bit different from my usual videos. I am currently recovering from a foot surgery I had 2 weeks ago on July 23rd. Now, I just came back from a doctor's appointment and my mom and my cousin are not home, so I'm kind of a little bit stuck down here because I'm still not comfortable or don't even kind of want to try to go upstairs without someone being there, just because I'm a little bit clumsy. And so I'm sitting in the dining room, got my foot propped up on the chair in front of me. So this video will be specifically discussing the day of surgery, my experience the day of surgery. And I feel like God is leading me to document this whole experience, the recovery and everything like that. One, because He will get the glory from this whole experience, the whole process, everything. He will get the glory from this. And two, if I can be of benefit, if what I'm going through can be a benefit or can help encourage someone or just help someone in some way, that is a blessing to me, knowing that all this is not in vain. And if it's someone going through the same type of injury, or deciding to get the same surgery that I've gotten, or is getting surgery and want to just share experiences of what to expect in the recovery and everything, like outcomes, then that's a blessing to me. So I'm excited to do this. I will be trying to document the recovery process, like when I have post-op appointments and just rehabilitation and restoration and getting back into doing things normally, like daily activities, whenever I go back to work, just the whole process of it from having this surgery. So the type of surgery that I had specifically was a tibial sesamoid bone removal surgery. There's 2 sesamoid bones in your foot. I had surgery in my right foot, my driving foot. So there's a fibular sesamoid and there's a tibial sesamoid. The only reason why I am specifying the type of bone that I had removed is because there's different procedures and processes that may happen depending on which bone you get removed. So mine specifically was a tibial sesamoid bone removal surgery on my right foot. The incision was made, it's about 2 inches, or I don't know how many inches that is, but the incision was pretty long. I wasn't expecting the incision to be that long, but it's laterally on my foot, so right along the side of my big toe. I don't know if different doctors do the incisions differently, but that's what I'm currently recovering from. So this video will specifically talk about the day of surgery, and not to make this video too long or drag it out too much, I will probably make another video discussing my first 2 weeks of recovery and how that all went, with the pain, with resting, with moving around and doing different things. So hopefully it'll help in some way. And mind you, everyone's recovery, everyone's surgery process and the way they recover is different. So I'm just sharing my experience because when I was looking on YouTube, before I even decided to get the surgery, when I was looking on the internet, I was looking on YouTube, I found a good amount of blogs that when people had sesamoid surgery, but there weren't many videos about really just a sesamoid fracture in general and the actual, if people decided to get surgery. There were a couple of videos that were helpful, but there really weren't many. So I feel like I am called to share my experiences if I could be of help to someone in any way. So let's get to it. The day of surgery. Okay, so, and I'm gonna try to organize my thoughts the best way I can in this video. The day of surgery, things were a little bit different, not too much, but just a little bit different because of COVID-19. So the only difference that I felt, I had surgeries before, but the only difference that kind of impacted me a little bit, it was that you couldn't really have anyone come in with you, you know, someone sitting in the waiting room, or somebody helping you in the pre-op phase, or someone helping you when you're coming out of anesthesia, like for support, your family or a friend there with you. You couldn't have anyone because of COVID. So that was one difference, getting surgery during COVID-19. But the day of surgery, my surgery was scheduled for 8:30 in the morning. I was to be at the hospital at 6:30 in the morning. I got my surgery done at Sinai Hospital in Baltimore, Maryland, if you're not from Baltimore. And so my mom dropped me off, and when you go in, of course, you have to wear a mask because of COVID. They take your temperature, and if your temperature is within normal limits, then you are able to proceed to like the next steps, which is registration and them leading you to where to go for the pre-op phase. And so before I even entered the hospital, in order to prepare myself for this surgery, I had different surgeries before, but for some reason, this one, I was more nervous, more anxious than usual, specifically about this surgery. And so before I actually stepped foot in the hospital, I made sure that I really sought the presence of God and sought his face and prayed and meditated on scripture. And I just prayed and asked God to give me peace, to give me a sense of peace over just everything that was about to happen. And so I did that to prepare myself spiritually and mentally for this surgery. And so when I walked in and everything, got up to the pre-op room, and you know, everything pre-op, you gotta sanitize yourself, put on a gown, that's normal. And so I just remember when I was in the pre-op room, I just was like praying to myself. I just was like meditating on what God said to me, that he will be with me, that he will never leave me nor forsake me. So I'm not alone. It's no need to be afraid. And I was just kept meditating on that. And he literally gave me peace. It was a peace that I couldn't really explain while I was just preparing myself to just get the surgery. And at first I was nervous because no one could go with me, but then I feel like this experience had to happen in order for me to just feel the presence of God. Because at that point it was like, okay, I have no one else to like support me or lean on. Usually my mom would go with me. I'm kind of a mama's girl, but at that moment I can only depend on God. I can only lean on him and stay focused on what he told me and just feel his presence. And his presence is peace. His presence is calmness. So when I was in the pre-op room, whenever I was like alone, I was just praying to myself and like just praising God, thanking him, affirming myself that he's with me, that he's sovereign, that he loves me, that he no weapon formed against me shall prosper, that he'll always be with me, that everything is going to be okay. And so I really had peace during once I went into the hospital. I had peace. I can't say I had peace a couple of days before this surgery because I was anxious, but God really gave me peace that day of surgery. And so in the pre-op phase, you already know, if you had surgery before, the nurses, the doctors, the anesthesiologists, everyone come in and explain their role, explain what's going to happen, explain the risks, the benefit, all those different kind of things. And so in the pre-op phase, the anesthesiologist gave me a sedative. And the sedative is supposed to help you get comfortable, you know, help you get relaxed while they ride you to the operating room. The anesthesiologist put the sedative through the IV that was in my hand, and we was just talking, having a conversation, and he was like, are you okay? Like, do you feel anything? Like, are you okay? And I was like, no, I feel fine, I feel okay. And so I had to like bend my hand so that the medicine can actually, or the sedative could actually go through. And once it go through, you feel kind of like a burning sensation through your hand. And then so once we were riding down to the operative room, and they were still talking to me and everything like that, I felt a little bit more relaxed, but I didn't feel like out of it. I was still aware, fully awake. And so once we got to the operative room, all I remember is them telling me helping me and telling me to scoot over to another bed. I guess that's the bed that was immovable. And once I did that, you guys, like, I was knocked out. I don't remember them putting a gas mask or oxygen on me or anything. Like, I don't remember anything beyond that point. And so the surgery procedure, I think it was only to be probably like an hour or an hour and a half. It was a really short procedure. And so when I was waking up from the anesthesia, when I looked at the clock, it was about like 11 something. I think it was like 11:15 or something like that. Mind you, my surgery was scheduled for 8:30. And so coming out the anesthesia, my experience, usually I don't have really any issues with anesthesia, but this time it was rough, y'all. It was rough. Coming out of it, I was just like, it was taking me like a while to kind of like get myself together and get awake. But as soon as you wake up, they help you transfer to the bedside chair. And so I just was not having it. I just was still feeling like really drowsy, kept going to sleep, not fully awake. And even if they was like talking to me, I just was like, okay, like really out of it. And so that was a little bit rough. And then they gave me Oxy for the pain. And when they gave me the Oxy, that was just it. Like, my body did not respond well to it. All of a sudden, I started getting real hot. I was like sweating and I felt nauseated. I felt like I was I actually was throwing up. And I just felt really miserable, really weak. And so I kept throwing up, and they couldn't send me home while I was throwing up, of course, but they was initially expecting me to be finished recovery at 12:30. So that's the time they told my mom to be outside ready to come get me. That's the time they initially told her. But since I was having a little bit of complications with everything, they was calling her, kept her updated on what was going on. I couldn't keep anything down, and I couldn't, before you have surgery, you can't eat anything. So I was basically throwing up, I don't even know, liquid. And so what they did was they gave me Benadryl to offset the effects of the anesthesia or the Oxy, whichever one was making me sick. And so that was that was rough, but I got through it. Praise the Lord. God is good. I actually didn't leave the hospital till about until 4 or 4 something in the afternoon. That's how long it kind of took me to be well enough to go home. And so right then, and they put a nerve block in your ankle, on your foot, that so my whole foot was kind of numb. So I really wasn't feeling any pain per se, like no sharp pain, no throbbing pain or anything like that. My foot was basically kind of numb. I wasn't really in any pain, but I did feel burning. So there was burning going through my foot. My foot felt like hot. But they said that was normal. I could bear weight on my heel with the boot. They didn't give me crutches. I already had crutches. They didn't give me a cam boot. I already had a cam boot. And so that's what they place your foot in. Even though your foot is all bandaged up, it barely fit in the cam boot. So and I'm gonna try to insert a picture of how my foot looked right after I got out of surgery, how it was wrapped up. And so they so I was able to manage on the crutches. I didn't heel weight bear for the first day, because when you put your foot down, you do, even though your foot is kind of numb per se, you still feel like the blood rushing down. But yeah, so when I got home, we have like about 14 steps to the next level. My bedroom is on the 2nd floor. Initially, I was thinking of doing like 1st floor setup, which, I mean, it's a kitchen down here, it's a bathroom down here, a TV, a couch. But the bathroom, I would have to come up like 1 or 2 steps to get to the bathroom. So my mom was like, while you're feeling okay, why don't you just go upstairs? And because the bathroom upstairs is closer to my bedroom. And so what I did was, I did not feel comfortable going up with the crutches, even though there's ways you can go up with the crutches. But the first day I didn't feel comfortable. So what I did was I scooted up like on my bottom, and I had my right leg lifted up while I basically do like arm push-ups, and used my left leg and foot to like get me up each step. And that worked really well for me. I felt comfortable with that. Not scared I'm gonna fall and everything like that, especially for the first day. So if you have steps, that's one way. If you're able to use your arms, and if your other leg is strong enough, that's one way you could come up the steps. If you have a lot of steps, like we have a good amount of steps. So that's that. The first day, like I said, there was a nerve block. I didn't really have too much pain. It was more like burning. They gave me ibuprofen. And they gave me Oxy. Now, because of my response to the Oxy that I thought was the Oxy in the hospital, I didn't take it, even though they told me to take like a half a dose. But yeah, I wasn't gonna chance it, so I managed off this ibuprofen. And in the next video, I'm going to share like 1 to 2 weeks of recovery. So they gave me ibuprofen to take every 8 hours. It was 600 milligrams, and they said I could take a Tylenol, like alternate with the Tylenol. Also, my pain for the first day, the first night, really wasn't that bad. Like I said, the nerve block kind of lasted for that first day, and it was really just more burning, a burning sensation, mostly up like my big toe. And so that's what I experienced. I was expecting to be in like a lot of excruciating pain, but it really wasn't too bad. And of course, you want to keep your foot elevated above your heart when you're like laying down. And they gave me an ice pack also. Now, because the bandage is so thick over my foot, if I put the ice pack around it, I'm not going to really feel anything because the bandage is so thick. Excuse me. And so they told me to put it under my knee or my calf area. So I kind of put, what helps me the most is having the ice pack under my calf and my ankle, and that helped give some relief. And just a tip is that you can ice probably for 20 minutes, and I'll do it kind of like all day long, 20 minutes on, then maybe 2 hours later put it on another 20 minutes, kind of like rotate it like that, because it just feels good. But yes, that's the first day. I'll cut this video right here because I'm going to have a next video now, just discussing the first 2 weeks and some things that I did that may help, if it may help you, some resources or like some things that I use to keep my feet elevated. So I hope this video helped in some type of way. And I also had my first post-op on August the 5th, and I wish I would have like took a picture of the incision and everything like that, but I'll do that next time when I get my stitches taken out on the 18th. So thank you for watching. I hope this video helped in some way. All right, see you guys in the next video. Bye.